So by the time I'm done pasting the formula, I'll just click on OK, and you can now see it here. The product category segmentation. The next thing I'm just going to do is just to transform by moving it to the beginning. Instead of having to drag, then I'll just move it to where the product category is. And with that, I think we have come to, okay, yeah, the other thing I also wanted to talk about is we did something that has to do with the sales data set. I'm gonna refresh, and we did a replacement of electronics, if I remember correctly, and it did affect our product the product category segmentation. So before, and even our widget, because we found out that yeah, so there's an error here, and that's because if you click on the drop down, the filter drop down, I don't know why I keep selecting. So if you click on the filter drop down, you'll notice that electronics, and you see something like electronics. Where is it? L. So electronics, and so this is a mistake, so we need to actually correct it. But the funny thing is that if we correct it here, it will only be corrected here. If I say I should correct it here, it's not going to affect what we've written before. I want it to affect what we've done before, the generation of this column. That's because both the widget and the product segmentation came earlier. So if we now decide to create, like correct it, do a replace value, it will be here. So based on hierarchy, it will be the last thing that was done, and it's not going to affect these guys. In order for us to do that, to make it affect it, we'll go to the source data, right? Come to the product category, go to replace value, home, then replace values, and we're just going to tell it, if you see electronic, replace it with electronics. Now I'm going to run this so you guys will see something. Okay, now the funny thing is that you can see double E's. It created a double E's. I say if you see electronics, replace it with electronics. So electronics is also a subset of electronics, right? Because electronics has E and electronics doesn't. So you better be careful if you're trying to do a correction like this. Now if I click on the settings here, go to advanced settings and say match entire cell content. So I'm saying you should give it an exact match. Anyway, you see electronics alone, replace it with electronics. So once I'm done with that, you can see it has autocorrect, and if I click on the drop down load, it would have already corrected itself. Now what's the advantage of this? Now this is from the source data. When I go to the merge data, you can see that before there was like a 100%, there was 1% error. If you notice before, let me go back so you guys can see what I was talking about. I'm gonna delete again, and I'll go back to the clean the merge data set. You can see empty, we have less than 1%, we have less than 1%, so there's some error 1. Now by the time I go to the source data set and go to my replace null, but I need to select the product category, replace null, say electronics and say electronics and go to advanced option, match entire cell content. If I go back to my merge cells, merge data set, you'd see that it will be the empty will be 0, so it means that there are no errors. So before it was merge 1, it was merge 1. I just created it, I just changed it to clean data sales data set. And so with that, you can then close and apply, and it's going to take some time to load. That's finished loading, and you have our data set here for the clean data set for analysis. Mind you, the remaining data, the remaining tables that are there, I just hid them from here. So I just clicked on the first, then I think, oh, you cannot click on them multiple. You can just click on them individually and hide. Just right click, hide. Just leave only the data set you actually want to use. Just hide them because we only want to use the cleaned sales data set, like the final cleaned sales data set, or whatever it is you want to use it for. I showed us how to get the word cloud earlier. So you go to get more visuals, get more. You need the internet for this. Let's see, it's loading up. You go to search and type word cloud. Is the word cloud, click, and you add. So you add, look at the rating, is a good rating, so you can just add to your visuals. It's going to come up here, somewhere around here. So if you want to do your word cloud, and I think is based on word cloud is based on the, if I remember correctly, I'm just gonna search word cloud. Yeah, so it's based on, there's word cloud based on frequency, and I think there's another one based on, okay, there are two, I guess. Okay, so word cloud frequently mentioned products in analysis. So I'm just gonna click on the word cloud, go to product. I can just click on product name, right? So you can see a lot. And the other thing I want to do, values. This is like the number of times it occurs. So I can click on this and drag here, but I'll rather create a measure for it, right? And new measure, I can do product name count. So I can see product name count, then I'll just do a count X of the table, which is cleaned sales. Then what I want is the product name, and that will be it. Voila, I've done a count of the product name, and I can now drag it to values. So you can see, so the other thing I also want to do in the settings, right? I think stop words, no, not stop words, general. Yeah. So word breaking. So if you go to the data set itself, let me go to the data set in the table. So what it means word break is something like cutting space T hyphens t-shirt. It's gonna break this into two because it's taking word on word. Smart light bulbs would, instead of it to be one product name, to say smart then light then bulbs. We don't want that, so we are going to off it. So you see, by the time off, we have, you can now see sweater, dress, like that. And yeah. So the next thing I think I wanted to show was the issue of the scattered plot. And if I remember correctly, was scattered plot. Oh, okay. So for the scattered plot, let me see the question. Let me just search scattered plot. So we have a scatter plot of price against customer feedback, and so the price against customer feedback frequency. So we can do I'll just go to the price, which is sales amount. That will be the price. I will not summarize it. I'll just say don't summarize. Then go back to of customer feedback, which is this guy here, and you see frequency, right? So we're going to click on the scattered plot. We're going to put the price at that's the sales amount, and the y good. Then we'll now do the customer feedback. So I'll use the theme, feedback theme. Where is it? I'll create it on the X, and I'm now going to do a count of it. So the other thing is, now there's no color here, and it doesn't look like color. Like, so we have different feedback themes. So the other thing is just to drag the feedback theme, and mind you, you can do a count of it as well, which is the frequency, right? So you just go to feedback theme, right click, or you can do customer feedback, right click. I'm even curious to see, but because you have a lot of feedback here, it's still the same thing. So because if I click on that and go to legend, the problem is it's going to create multiple feedbacks for me, and I don't want that, which is why it's not the best. What I can just do is just to click on feedback theme and make it the legend. Didn't do well. So I'm just going to do a count of the feedback in the x-axis, and I'll do a count of it, or take okay. This is interesting. This is supposed to be like this. The sales amount. So I'll just do a count of this feedback theme. I'm going to create a measure. Oh, sorry, many apologies. Let me do this again. I think I got, yeah, so more like this. And where's the feedback theme as legend? No, it's not. I think the customer feedback as a legend is a very exhaustive. I don't know why it is behaving. It's not supposed to behave in this way. Okay, but let me just do that of the theme. I'm just going to do a count of it. I'm going to create a new measure. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do a new measure. I'll do a feedback theme or a feedback count. That's the name. And that will be equal to, I'm going to count based on the clean sales data. Then I'll do feedback theme. Then I'm going to bring it to my x-axis. Not showing me anything for now. The sales amount in my y-axis, more like it. Then I'm now going to bring the theme to the legend. This is just weird. It's not supposed to show me. I think I'm just going to change it. It's not supposed to behave this way. It's supposed to give me more like yeah, so something like this. Sales amount against feedback. There's a scattered plot. It's supposed to give me something like this. So this just shows that the cheaper the cost of product is, the more feedback you got. You got more feedback on cheaper product. Funny enough. I think the same thing with the scattered plot for the so profit margin, which is in percentage, and feedback. So you do the same thing. So the first thing out you want to do is to go to the table for the profit margin. I think we created that. Let's see where the profit margin is. If we didn't create that, I think we need to. So the profit margin will just be um okay, sorry, I think it's there. Where is it? No, it is profit margins and feedback. No, there's another one. Scattered plot price is another scattered plot. Yeah, so let me see. It's profit margin. Okay, so you can actually do that by calculating the profit margin between the sales amount and the cost of goods sold. But this I thought about discount applied is in percentage. You should leave it in percentage so that then you can reduce it to one decimal place. There's some calculation you do with it. Forgotten. The profit margin, like I said, you can actually so you just the profit margin will be, I think by margin it's supposed to be in percentage as well. It will be cost of goods, the sales amount minus cost of goods over, I think, cost of goods. I can't remember. Or you just do sales margin. Profit margin will just be the difference between this and this guy. Or you can create it into percentage as well. So I think the sales amount minus cost of goods over cost of goods will give you a percentage profit margin. So it will be profit margin of, because if you are doing profit margin, you're always looking at it by the cost of how many percent did you get from it. We can actually calculate that. Let me see. Let's go back to home. let's go back to transform, and we can do profit margin. But the other thing is to look at what how calculation of profit margin. So calculation of profit margin, I think it's in percentage. Yeah. So yeah, it's over, it's percentage. So it will be uh so revenue minus cost of goods. Forget about this, it's not the interest. Divide by revenue. That's interesting. Okay, so you see another one. Total, okay, it is by total revenue. That's interesting. So my mistake. So it will be total revenue minus cost of goods, which is true, divide by total revenue. Oh yeah. So revenue is how much you sold the stuff for, the price of it. So we can create add column. We're actually going to do a custom column and do profit margin, and usually it, if I remember correctly, in percentage, so it will be profit margin, and it will be sales amount divide by cost of goods sold, then oh no, sorry, minus, any apologies, then divide by sales amount. Yeah, so it will be minus, then yep, we are good. And but there's a reason why I created it in the source data. I'm gonna move these guys. I don't want to have to, or maybe I should. Yeah, I think I should not. I'll create it in the clean data. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's see. But I think it's also going to show here profit margin, profit margin. Yeah, so it's gonna show here as well. Yeah, whatever works. Go to transform, go to move to the beginning. That's because I'm too lazy to drag, and I might just bring it sales amount here. Then for convenience sake, convert it into, so it's saying that a plus b, no, it's decimal. Let it be in decimal. Then go back to close and apply. Then you go to the table and convert it into percent. It's really important that you do that because it's in percentage. It's going to load. At the time it's done loading, yeah, where is it? We're supposed to see it somewhere around here. Not there. Yikes. Okay, so the profit margin is here for some weird reason. So I'm just gonna go to yeah, table tools, and column tool, yeah, and convert it into percent. So it will just give me 25%. I think I'm gonna make it one decimal place. It doesn't look weird. Yeah, so one decimal place is fine. Yeah, one decimal place is fine. And yeah, go to the report, and you can do your scattered plot with it. So you do profit margin by customer feedback, so you can do it by theme. I don't think you're. Oh, the other thing is because you want to do yeah, you don't want to summarize it. You just want to leave it um don't summarize. And let's see, where's the profit margin. If you click on the scattered plot back, so profit margin should be on the y axis. I assume. No, can be value. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yikes. Can also be here, but I don't think it will. The next thing is customer feedback. With the feedback theme, I remember correctly. Oh, it's not going to feedback. Yeah, I don't need this value. Okay, so I think it's the other way. I don't want to count of it actually. Oh, I think I do. Some profit margin. This thing is just weird. I'm having minus. Let me see. A count of it. What's it gonna give me? No, it's not nice. I'm having negative. Oh wow. Maybe I should look for average per. Yeah, but I can do also a feedback uh theme by putting legend here. Just makes it so you can see this is 0%. You're having some at 500%, negative 500%, which is weird. There's something to look at. Again, it's something to look at, but I think I'm going to look at it. Anyways, hopefully this should be the completion of using your DAX or your Power Query in Power BI to clean your data, then you do visualization with it. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. If you do find this video, if you benefited from it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with individual persons that you think would benefit from it.